Hey y'all, Tom Maddrey here, ASMP's General Counsel, Head National Content and Education. Just want to give you my initial quick reactions. Today, the Copyright Office came out with the final rule for the new Copyright Claims Board in terms of initial proceedings. This is something that ASMP has been really involved in. Obviously, from the Case Act on out, we're getting to the final stages of the Copyright Claims Board and its implementation. Such a big deal, such a big deal for all types of creators. I'm very excited about it. But before it's implemented, one of the first things that we have to do is figure out what the rules are, right? And so now is one of the first, what they call final rules that the Copyright Office is putting out. This has to do with the procedure and the steps that you have to take. And the final rule that came out today was on initial procedures, initiation of proceedings. How do you get this thing started? So it's a long rule. I'll link to it in the description, but I really want you to focus in on a few things. Let me start here. Overall, really positive. We're really happy to see a number of the provisions in this final rule. So let me get that out of the way first. There are a few things I want to highlight that I think are critical. The first is the fee for starting a proceeding in the Copyright Claims Board. You know, there was a question, this fee's kind of been set at $100, right? But there's a question, what if you pay your $100 and the other side decides to opt out? That could happen, okay? Opt out is part of this. You're going to see more videos on this as we get closer. And so what we were arguing for is a two-tiered fee system where you pay $40 to get the thing started. So you as a creator, someone's infringed, you want to appear in front of the Copyright Claims Board, you pay $40 to get the thing rolling. That gets everything moving so all the process can take place. Then a period of time passes where you've provided what they call service on the other party, and the other party has made a decision whether they're going to stay in this proceeding or they're going to opt out. Once that clock passes, then you pay the additional $60. This is really important and something that we were really pushing for. The reason we were pushing for it is obvious. If you had to pay $100 and then the alleged infringer opted out every time, well, you'd just be at $100 each time you try to do that. That quickly becomes a system that's untenable. Here, we've come to some kind of middle ground. And I think even more than a middle ground, it's beneficial to creators. You start with that $40 to get the thing going. Once the opt-out period has passed and everyone is sure they're all in for these proceedings, at that point, the other $60 is paid. This tiered fee system we're really, really excited about. So there are a number of other provisions that are in here, and I'm going to run through some of them quickly. We're going to be getting far deeper over at the ASMP Academy into the Copyright Claims Board, like deeper than you could ever imagine. But I just want to give you my initial reactions to this final rule. So really positive on the tiered fee system. There were some questions about different theories of liability. And I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on what primary liability and secondary liability is in relation to copyright infringement. But I will say this. What the Copyright Office said in this final rule is that different theories of liability, such as secondary liability, will be permissible. This is important because it allows the copyright owner to use the full range of options available to them when examining what type of infringement it is and what they want to argue in front of the Copyright Claims Board. So generally, another positive development. Some of the others are very technical in nature. They have to do with service and how you process and serve the respondents with the papers about the CCB. But I don't want to go into all those today. I want to end this super quick initial reaction with one other thing that I thought was great. Remember, the Copyright Claims Board was envisioned and designed for copyright owners to be able to bring small claims that they might not have been able to take to federal court and appear pro se. When we say pro se, that means on your own, without a lawyer, right? That's the goal. And so, among other things in this final rule, which talks about the initial proceedings, the CCB is going to provide a list of defenses in the form of a checklist, but the respondent who is going to get that checklist is going to be required to provide the basis for each defense that they are going to argue, right? That's important too, because what we want in this proceeding is everyone to have the information that they need to move forward. And that includes, hey, if you're going to argue some defense, we need to know a little bit more about why you think that would apply here. Again, a lot of stuff in there. This great part about you can't rescind and opt out, meaning if you opt out, you can't later say, oh, I'm back in, right? Overall, my reaction, a positive development for creators, a positive development for copyright owners. The final rule, especially with the two-tiered pricing when it comes to the filing fees, is exceptionally important, and I think is going to make the CCB accessible to more people. Very much looking forward to seeing the additional final rules as they come out, the additional guidance, the handbook that the Copyright Office is going to put together related to this. And we're getting into the final stages now. In the next 2 months, this is when the rubber meets the road, okay? So very excited about that. If you have any questions about the CCB, go over and check everything out at asmp.org. As I mentioned, starting in late April, early May, you're going to see a whole new track of courses at the Academy that go into every in and out about the Copyright Claims Board. We are super excited and look forward to seeing you over there at the ASMP Academy. I'm Tom Maddrey. We'll talk soon.